The rate at which crime is increasing in Nigeria is very alarming. What is given to this? Why is this increasing? You can easily tell from the India hemp, tramadol, and others. Today, Nigeria is not the same as it used to be. How are these tramadol getting to the last end where the consumption is given to increase in crime? The India hemp. Today, over 1,800 ammunitions, AK-47, locally made one, AK-47 and pistols are on display with close to 50 suspects, with a female suspect among them. The commanders of IRT and ST are set to display or to show us what they have done in recent days through the public relations officer, Frank Yoba. Let's listen to them and hear details of activities carried out by the officers and men of Nigerian police.
You are all welcome yet again to another briefing and parade of suspects. Today we have before you a few of the achievements from just a section of the Force Intelligence Bureau, and particularly the IRT and the STS. Today, we have a total of 50 suspects. These are persons who were arrested. They've been thoroughly profiled and investigated, and clear prima facie cases made out against them. These suspects are being held for various offenses, ranging from kidnapping, armed robbery, gun running, illicit possession of firearms, prohibited firearms, unlawful possession and distribution of hard drugs, among other offenses. We have recovered from these suspects one AK-47 rifle, 7 locally made pistols, a total of 2,496 rounds of live AK-47 ammunition, cutlasses of different shapes and sizes, house-breaking implements, 5 cartons of tramadol, 4 bags of weed suspected to be India hemp, amongst others. Among so many actions that were taken to tackle the challenges of armed robbery, kidnapping, and banditry, we are making conscious efforts to cut off the supply of arms and ammunition to kidnappers and bandits. And that explains why today we will be showcasing some of these recoveries that deal specifically on this our new approach It is our belief that if we are able to cause a drought of weapons flow to the hands of these very dangerous elements, we'll be able to weaken them, we'll be able to make them make it easier for the police and other law enforcement agents to overrun them and pick them. We will also make it difficult for them to operate the way they've been doing. And so we are working with both our local intelligence sources as well as our international partners in Interpol, in Afripol, and in WAPCO to ensure that we're able to cut down the free flow of arms and ammunition from the northern part of Africa through the Sahel region into our borders, and also from the Eastern European countries through the Gulf of Guinea into our littoral states. Having said that, I will quickly parade the first set of suspects. There are 4 in number: Danjuma Bachung, Marcus Danladi, Shuaibu Suleiman, and Suleiman Tukur. Danjuma and Marcos were arrested for gun running. Intelligence operatives have monitored the operations for a while and eventually closed up on them and picked them up and recovered from them those live ammunitions you can see there. These are live AK-47 ammunition, which the duo were transporting from Jos to Kaduna, and specifically to a leader of one of the bandits within that area. They've made several trips in the past, but eventually the long arm of the law has finally gotten hold of them. Incidentally, the bandit in question, who is currently on the run, seems to also be carrying out his trade, plying out his illicit trade with the full consent, support, and coverage of his family. And that explains why Shaibu Suleiman and Suleiman Tukro were all arrested. These are his family members. When their family house was searched, a total of 231 rounds of live AK-47 ammunition were equally recovered from their home. Another of their brother escaped from the house with an AK-49 rifle. Thus, it seems to be a family enterprise. We'll allow you to talk to them briefly, and then we'll present you with another set of gun runners. One thing I can assure you and assure the country is the fact that we will follow this case and the rest of the cases diligently from the beginning to the end, and we will ensure that justice is not only done, but that justice is manifestly seen to have been done.
Stand up.
No, leave him. Are you getting him, or you need him to stand up?
You can get him like this.
So listen, You will introduce yourself, just tell them your name, your age, where you come from, and tell them what you know about that ammunition. We don't want to interrupt you. Your name, your age, where you come from, and what you know about.
My name is Mike Marcus Daladi, and my age, I was 36 years old. And person will give me this thing, BG. Ammunition.
Say it clearly. The person that gave you the ammunition.
The person who's giving me this ammunition is BG.
Okay.
Yes. 2 times.
How many times have you delivered this ammunition before?
2 times, sir.
Put your mic close to your mouth.
2 times.
The first time, what's the total number of ammunition you conveyed?
700.
What kind of vehicle were you using, or did you use?
Golf.
Where did you keep the ammunition inside the Gulf?
Boot.
Which part of the boot?
For the site.
Okay, the second one, how many ammunition were you carrying?
1,565.
1,000 what?
565.
Who gave it to you?
Biggie.
Who were you supposed to deliver it to?
Ibrahim.
Which vehicle were you using to convey the ammunition?
Golf.
How did you conceal the ammunition in the Gulf?
I put it for the site of the Gulf.
And then?
One under the tire for boot.
Okay, that's okay for you. How much do you make in each trip?
They pay me 15,000 naira.
Okay, thank you. The next gun runner. Now, how can I, with all this that I'm using to touch all the nonsense, they will not show. Okay. Again, we have before us 2 male suspects. Daniel was arrested for illicit trade in weapons. As a matter of fact, investigation has shown that so far he has sold a total of 4 AK-47 rifles and 6 locally made pistols. It might interest you, however, to know that when we talk of these locally made pistols, they are very, very close to what you can find anywhere in the developed world. But incidentally, these pistols were 100% fabricated here and made here. They look very clean and they are highly functional and efficient. Their magazines are comparable to the magazines of Brownie pistols, Beretta pistols, and all other modern-day pistols with functional springs, and they are automatic pistols. We are closing up on the manufacturers of these arms, and we can assure you that very soon you'll be talking to the manufacturers. Again, this is part of those conscious efforts at cutting off arms supply to non-state actors and other criminal elements who are steadily arming themselves in order to make life miserable for the law-abiding citizens. We'll allow you to talk to them very briefly, and we'll deal with the next arms dealer. You stand up, you tell them your name, your age, where you come from, and then you tell them what you know about this weapon, how you give them, how you sell them, and how much you sell the AK-47 and the pistols. We hope you look straight to them and make yourself very clearly. Speak to the microphone. Take it close to your mouth.
Okay.
Speak Pidgin English if you want.
My name is Daniel Baba. I come from Kwali. Okay. My name is Daniel Baba. Yes, I came from Kwali. So the pistol, yes, I'm sold the pistol and with the local rifle. So the pistol I sold it at the rate of 150. So over 150,000. Yes. 150,000. So now the AK local made will sell it at the rate of 300, 400.
How many AK have you sold so far?
It's 4, sir.
How many pistols have you sold so far?
6, sir.
Who did you sell them to? Who you sell them?
Thank you.
You
can go.
Okay.
Tell us who you sell them to. The one I just left.
Down your mask. Take down your mask. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have before us a 9-man robbery gang. It is an intermix of both the arms dealers, the gun runners, those that provide weapons to the robbers and the kidnappers, and then the operatives themselves, who are the end users of the weapons. The first two suspects, Azenda Leonard, age 27, and Joseph Idoko, age 39, are the two suspects who trade in these illicit weapons. Azenda Leonard Leonard sells weapons to Joseph Idoko, and Joseph Idoko eventually sells to the end users, who in turn deploy these weapons to hurt the innocent citizens. One of these suspects, incidentally, he has been in and out of both Kano and Kaduna prisons, and was recently, as recent as December last year, granted amnesty by the governor of Kaduna State, by one of the governors. And I hope that should be properly edited. Before you, a 9-man gang, which is an intermix of both arms dealers or gun runners, as well as the end users of the weapons, the armed robbers, the kidnappers, and those who deploy these illicitly acquired weapons to terrorize innocent citizens. Amongst these 9 persons, Leonard Azenda, stand up, age 27 years, is the head arms dealer. He sells his weapons to Joseph Idoko, age 39 years, stand up. And Joseph Idoko in turn sells these weapons to the rest members of the gangs. These suspects in turn, like I've said earlier, now deploy these weapons to hurt the law-abiding citizens. Incidentally, one of these suspects, Anthony Baye, stand up, who has been in and out of both Kaduna and Kano prisons and was recently granted pardon by one of the state governors, is also one of those that purchased this weapon. Another member of this gang is also one of those that escaped recently during the NSAS protest from local prisons. He is also part and parcel of this gang. His name is Gabriel Yahweh. Raise up your hand. We will, a total of 4 pistols have already been recovered from them, and investigations are still ongoing to arrest other members of this gang who are currently on the run. Again, this is part of those systematic and conscious efforts by the NPF to ensure that we mop up all these illicit weapons in circulation, block all the loopholes and leakages, and ensure that weapons are not allowed to move freely into this country or within this country. At this point, we will allow you to speak to them, starting from Leonard, and then Joseph, and perhaps Anthony. Thank you.
Well, Admiral Leonard, I'm from Ikoni local government, Benin State. How I got connected with this local made pistol is that there's one community in my local government. that they normally do all these things there.
We don't want work story.
Okay.
Tell us how many of these pieces you have sold.
Okay, sir.
Who did you sell to? How much did you sell them?
Okay.
Chicken.
I showed 4 pistols to Mr. Idoku Joseph at the rate of 50,000 each on different occasions.
Thank you. Just sit down. Give Idoko the mic.
I'm age 39. I met those gang on my way to shop, so we met them on the way.
On your way to where?
On the way to shop.
Okay. What do you sell?
I'm a tailor.
Okay.
So they now told me that they need gun. That's okay. I know somebody in Benue. That is Leonard. That is so gun. So I took them to Leonard to buy from them. Not that I buy from Leonard to go and sell for them. Anybody that I want to buy, I will take to Leonard. They will pay. If Leonard say it's 50,000 naira, I will tell those people say it's 70,000 naira. Then 70,000 naira, I collect 70,000 naira. I pay 50, remove my commission.
How many people here have you sold to? Just mention their names.
One is Anthony.
Anthony, stand up.
Then one is Junior.
Junior. Junior, stand up.
And one is Ben.
Ben, stand up.
Then Ima.
Ima, stand up.
Ima is not.
Okay. Thank you. Collect. Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Tell them your name, your age, where you come from, and which 2 prisons or 3 or 4 you have been to. When were you released, and how did you buy this gun?
Anthony, I'm 44 years from Kaduna State. From Kano prison, they transferred me from Kano prison to Kaduna prison.
What did you do before them carry you?
Breaking and entry. From Kaduna prison, the governor of Kaduna State pardoned me. December 7.
Continue.
Why did you buy gun? Did you buy gun or not?
I buy gun.
Why did you buy gun?
I just come out, nothing to do, nobody to help me. When I bought the gun, no pistol. He didn't sell me with a pistol, bullet.
Okay, with bullets.
He just sell the gun for me without bullet. I asked him, I said, "Oh, how will we get the bullet?" He said, let me send the money to bullet. I send the money to bullet. That is the way they catch me.
Say nothing to do. How you take get money buy gun?
How much did you buy the gun?
90,000.
Where you get the money?
How much did you send for pistol? For the bullet, ammunition?
8,500. 8,500.
Total amount? Almost 98,000.
Yes.
That one
So, and you have nothing, and nobody is helping you. How do you get the money?
I get the money from prison.
How? They said something.
Yes, I did business.
Which kind of business? Which kind of business? They sell
Thank you.
this one Nike did not buy. drugs. This tramadol, you see.
Give me one of those tramadol. Give me one of those on pack. No. Okay. Then the other one is Zainab Aminu, Abdurrahman. Okay. How many for you? Two separate set of suspects, but who coincidentally are from the same area, the same local government, and dealing on related items. If I mention your name, you stand up. The first set of suspects consists of Lawal Ismaila, Zaladin Usman, and Mukhtar Basir. These three young men were arrested with 5 cartons of tramadol, which they were transporting to some bandits in Katsina. Again, if you understand the relationship between drugs and violent crimes, you will understand why we're also paying very special attention to this set of criminals. It's not just that these drugs are destructive to a section of our population, but the fact that these drugs provide additional Dutch courage to these criminals. And that's why when they go out, they act with no mercy, they act with no conscience, and they respect nobody. They spill blood with reckless abandon. Therefore, as we try to mop up illicit weapons, we also must disorganize the free flow of drugs. We'll continue to work with our counterparts in the NDLE, in NAFDAC, and other relevant agencies to ensure that we succeed in this area. I will allow you to talk with them very briefly.
Assalamu alaikum. Sannan sunana Lawal Sama'ila. Sunana Lawal Sama'ila. Ina zaune a Masaka ne. A nan aka kama ni, an kama wannan kayan. A nan nake sai da shi, kwando ne gare ni. Haka muna talla bakin titi.
Me sunanka?
Sunana Lawal Sama'ila.
He said his name is Lawal Sama'ila. Da laifi aka kama ka?
Da magani.
He said he was arrested in possession of illicit drugs.
A Masaka aka kama ni.
He was arrested in Masaka area of Nasarawa State.
A nan nake sai da shi, haka muna kwanduna ne bakin hanya muke talla.
Nawa kuke sayar da shi?
Muna sai da shi 31.
Kowane guda nawa?
Kwali daya.
30,000?
Da daya ba, kowane kwali daya.
He said that he normally did his sir.
Na?
Menene ka ga mai yan sanda?
Okay, mun kudin shi suka tambayan gaba daya.
Kudin gaba daya nawa ne?
Kudin gaba daya wanda suka kama na bayan nan na ce musu na miliyan 3 ne.
He said he was arrested in possession of hard drug amounting to tramadol amounting to 3 million naira.
Shi ne wanda suka kama.
Where is it taking them to? Which state is it taking them to?
Na?
Wani jiha ne za ka kai su?
Ni na Masaka nake zaune, nake kasuwa ta. A Masaka.
Where are you from? Asking where is from.
Ba ni daga Katsina nake, amma nan dai mazaunin Masaka ne.
Wasu irin mutane ke zuwa sayan kwayoyin a hannunka?
Kwanduna ne gare mu muke yanka haka.
Yes, it is. What do you say?
Daga ina kuke kawo su?
Daga wanda sake kawo su.
He said he normally purchased them from Onitsha. He has his trading spot at Masaka area, where he usually used to distribute them to different part of the state.
Okay, please.
When did he start? When did he start? How long has he been doing it?
Shekara nawa kana wannan kasuwancin naka?
Na zo 17 amma ba daga zuwa na fara ba. 2017.
Shekara nawa kenan zuwa yanzu?
Zuwa 17 zuwa. Ba daga zuwa na fara ba. Kwando garin ina yawo.
Shekara nawa kai kana wannan
yanzu da 2 da rabi kenan.
He said he spent 2.5 years in this business.
Okay, thank you. The second set were equally arrested with 4 bags of Indian hemp. They are led by Zainab Aminu.
This woman will make us proud.
Again, Zainab was in the process of also transporting this to somewhere in Katsina. You can talk to Zainab very briefly.
India, Seki.
Ki musu bayani, ya musu ne zan da aka aike ki inda kika so wiwe ina za ki kai
Come there before they accuse you.
Sunana Zainab Aminu.
Put on like this. Hey.
Sunana Zainab Aminu. Zainab Aminu. 23. Ina sai da zannuwa, ina sai da magungunan mata. Zainab Aminu. Zainab Aminu.
Shekarunki nawa?
23.
Me sana'a?
Ina sai da zannuwa, ina sai da gado.
Wayannan abubuwan nan da aka kama.
Ban taɓa yi ba, kaddara ne ya faɗa min na siya.
She said her name is Zainab Aliu. She's 23 years old. And she sells furnitures. But this is her first time of selling these Indian hemps.
Ai ban taɓa sai da abu ne na farko ba, a samu mai siya bane aka kama ni da shi.
That is her first trip, and she has not gotten a buyer. That is why the police arrested her. Ina za ki kai?
Wani Ibrahim ne ya ce in kama, shi ne yasa 'yan sanda suka kama mu.
Ina kika samu?
Mun je biki na bada kaya ba shi aka bani kayan na karɓa.
She said there's one Ibrahim that she wants to supply them to.
Where is Ibrahim?
Ina Ibrahim ne?
Ga da ɗan uwan shi nan muna tare, shi ya ce mu kawo zai siyar mana. Sani.
She said Ibrahim's brother is here. Go and touch him. Ki je ki taba shi. Tashi tsaye Ibrahim.
How did she carry it when they catch her?
Ya aka kamo ki da shi? Kin sa a mota ne?
Ya ce dai in mun kawo shi zai ba mu wanda zai siya, shi Ibrahim din.
Ibrahim said when they bring it, he will bring the buyer.
So she said Ibrahim gave her drug. Ibrahim said she bring it. How did she get this drug?
Sanin nan ne, shi sanin abokin Ibrahim din ne. A'a, ni na siya. Mun je biki kaya na bada aka bani.
I'm okay. The most important thing is kaya. All right, move them. Set of suspects before you. This is a 7-man robbery gang. Is a six-man robbery gang that specializes in robbing house to house. Their specialty is in robbing residential areas. They ply their trade in Kwara, in Ondo, before eventually settling down in Abuja. And in Abuja, their choice areas are Gwarimpa, Deide, Gwagwa, and Jabi. The reason why we are saying this is for citizens who are out there who might have been victims to be able to look through their faces, and if you can recollect any incident of a house robbery or burglary or any incident related thereto, and you can connect their face, any of these faces, please come down to STS office. We'll be ready to talk with you and help you. The suspects have told us in clear terms that they do rough profiling of houses before they attack those houses. And they will not attack any house if they discover there is a dog there, or there are guards on duty, or that there are sufficient security in place. The lesson therefore is for house owners, especially those that live in isolated areas, to make conscious effort to reduce the vulnerability of their residential areas, harden their targets by making sure that they have functional gates, functional security lights, and going the extra miles to have dogs. If you take these precautionary steps, you might as well be helping to make your home safer and make our job as law enforcement agents easier. I will quickly allow them to run an introduction of themselves. They will simply call their name, where they come from, and sit down. And then I will zero down to one key message.
Your name, your age, you sit down.
Sunana Sarushu. The name is Nasru Shehu.
From where?
From Katsina.
Put the microphone near your mouth like me. Put them here.
If you go TV, they hear English.
The name is Nasru Shehu.
How many years are you?
22.
You are from where?
From Katsina State.
Okay.
My name is Mohamed Akilu. I'm 20 years old and I'm from Katsina State.
My name is Rabu Sani from Katsina. Rabu Sani. How old are you? 24. My name is Ibrahim Hassan. How old are you? 21. My name is Ibrahim Hassan. How old are you? From Kano.
My name is Abba Amin from Zaria.
How many years?
20.
My name is Jamil Mohammed from Nasarawa State, 27 years.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the interesting thing, this is really interesting. But one of the key things we discovered here is the fact that one of the suspects, Mohammed Akilu, he is just 20. He has an incredible capacity to alter the IMEI number of phones. He does not participate in the actual house-to-house robbery, but whenever a stolen phone is given to him, he has the capacity to alter the special identification number of the phone. He will speak to you very quickly on what he does and his ambitions and dreams of studying further in life.
I build on hardware and software. So my dream is to face my study. I just finished my secondary school last year. So I'm about to move forward, and I'm, engineering student. So that's what I want to study ahead.
So why did you now choose Amrabaga?
No, I don't know the case of it. The first day he came to my side, he was like, they were two together. Then they asked me they want to flash their phone. So that was the case. I don't even know this guy from anywhere. He just come to my shop that he want to work his phone. So that is how I get caught.
How many phones have you changed the IMEI number?
8, sir.
What are the phones that you can you mention the type of phones that their IMEI numbers are easily changeable?
Yes, Techno and Infinix, sir.
Techno and Infinity.
Infinix.
Infinix.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other phone that is very easy to change the IMEI number, you know?
I don't really know. I just get started with this one. That is the only one I know how to work on.
What are the ones that you have tried to change that are difficult?
I never come across of any like that, but I specialize on Techno and Infinix.
Okay, thank you. Let's just close with this case. A case of a foiled kidnapping plot. This is a case of a foiled kidnapping plot. The trio of Basir Abubakar, 25 years, stand up. Al-Hassan Abdullahi, 20 years. And Sadi Saminu, 18 years. These three young men conspired to kidnap the manager of AYM Shafak petrol station located in Zaria, Kaduna State. However, our operatives working on very credible intelligence monitored their plot until the point at where they were about to execute the operation. They were eventually, IL2 operatives eventually swooped on them, effected their arrest, recovered their weapons, and equally recovered their operational vehicle, a Golf saloon car. For us, this is what we want to do more. We want to be more proactive. We want to be involve in more preemptive strikes, and we want to work with citizens to ensure that we're able to take down these criminals before they commit the crimes. We will allow you to speak to them very quickly, and then we'll wrap up today's parade.
Ya sunanka?
Sunana Basira Abubakar.
No duration.
He said his name is Basira Abubakar. Shekarun ka nawa?
25.
He's 25 years old. Me kai aka kawo ka nan?
An kama mani za mu je sata Zaria.
He said he was arrested with government that they are going to rob somebody to kidnap him in Zaria. Ku da su waye?
Ni da wayan nan ne.
Da waye da waye? Ka kira sunansu?
Alhassan Abdullahi
Da wa kuma?
da Saminu Sadi.
So he was arrested together with Sadi Saminu and Alhassan Abdullahi. Kuna ne za ku je?
Mu biyar ne za mu je.
So there are 5 gang members that they went. Wa za ku je ku kidnapping? Wa za ku je? Gidan wa za ku je?
Gidan manaja Ashfa, manajan mu gidan mai.
So they are going to kidnap the manager of AIM Shapa Petroleum Station.
Who advised them to kidnap the man? Who gave them the job?
Why ya ba ku aikin da za ku je ku yi?
Wannan a Zaria.
So it's somebody in Zaria. Me sunansa?
Ana ce mai Malam Garba.
His name is Malam Garba. Sorry, ma.
Go ahead, go ahead. So, Malam Garba is the one that told them to kidnap Ashafa manager.
Malam Garba shi ne ce ku je ku kidnap manager mai na Ashafa.
Shi ne ya ce mu je mu.
How much you now want collect from the man?
No, no, za ku asa a hannun mutumin.
A bai gaya mana abin da ba mu ansa ba.
He didn't tell them the actual amount that they are going to collect, sir.
Okay, thank you.
They married.
Kana da aure?
Ina da aure.
He is married. Matan ka nawa?
Matana ɗaya yara na uku.
He is married to one wife and 3 children.
Say Baba. How many remain?
After hours of parading, now you know the challenges that is facing Nigerians. Majority of people paraded are youth. What are we going to do to stop this crime? I believe the security authorities need to work very hard. Should we seek for means to make use of those that are channeling their brain to wrong things and utilize them in the system? Well, your guess. It's a smile. This is GTV Africa from former SARS office, now STS of police. I'm Bemiga Olamiko. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page till I come your way again.